Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. I'm hoping you all can hear me. I think you can. If you can't hear me, let me know. Give me a sign. Give me a word. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and on Callin. I'm going to try a new rundown for the show a little bit, just giving you guys a heads up. At about 12:25, if you want to send me a comment with a tip, you can actually do that on Buy Me a Coffee / Black Bear News. There's the link on the Rockfin, and I'll set the link on. The link is in the description box of all the channels that I'm live on. I'm live on Callin, Rockfin, and YouTube. You could also send me a comment on any other platform, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. So I'll be reading comments at 12:25, and then again at 12:50. I might take a call after those moments in time. Thank you all for the support. I appreciate it in advance. And anyways, let's jump into it. People are asking about the thumbnail. And the thumbnail has an interesting story behind it. And you can hear me, and that's good. Okay, well, let's get into it. I have to admit that I didn't actually really look at this article. I just looked at why didn't I really look at this article? Because it was like just typical. I was like, well, it sounds pretty believable to me that this would happen. CocaCola is sponsoring COP27. So if you want to know how much of a joke these conferences are around climate change, how little they are actually dedicated to doing for the environment. I mean, all of these conferences have the oil. All of the oil industry is a big player in like the IPCC, Paris Agreement. All the COPs, they're all in there. They've all got their hands in the pie. They're all trying to make sure that their interests are being represented. From yesterday, the government of Egypt announced that it has signed a cooperation agreement with Coca-Cola, introducing the company as a sponsor for the United Nations Conference on Climate Change to be held. Oh, Jesus. In response, Greenpeace USA Oceans Campaign Director John Hocevar said it is baffling that Coca-Cola, the world's biggest plastic polluter and all global, break free from plastic brand audits, including Kenya and Uganda, will sponsor this year's conference of parties in Egypt. Coca-Cola produces 120 billion throwaway plastic bottles a year. 99% of the plastics are made from fossil fuels, et cetera, et cetera. We know this is a huge problem. Plastic is the devil, by the way. So this is clearly a conflict of interest. Thank you, Greenpeace, for pointing this out or, raising the alarm around this. Yes, Greenpeace isn't perfect, but they do have the capability to call people out, correctly from time to time. And I appreciate them doing this. This is absolutely ridiculous, honestly. And I just don't, honestly don't know what to say other than, couldn't see that one coming, or What a big shock this is. Oh my God. Absolutely ridiculous. Until we actually stop the polluters of the planet, not just from being involved in these things, but actually just operating, period. And until we actually stop these things from happening, nothing, absolutely nothing is going to be done, being done. It's just, we are spinning our wheels. We are absolutely spinning our wheels on this, and, moving farther away from any kind of reality on answers around this. And then on top of that, the problem with this is that it makes climate, people who are concerned about the climate or climate action or climate conferences or, anything of that nature, it makes all of that look like a joke, especially to people who are super skeptical about climate change anyways. Right? It's hard enough actually getting people to get into the room of having a conversation around climate change. And when you do stuff like this, you just absolutely make it all look like a joke. I don't know how you want people to take you seriously around the climate when you do stuff like this. And you end up pushing people further away from any kind of realistic conversation around this. It's infuriating. All right. Hurricane Ian continues to go and go. Hurricane Ian continues his path to South Carolina. This is, they're getting whipped now there. There are so many clips and video footages. This is the end of the Pawleys Island Pier has collapsed and is floating out into sea. There's just, yeah. So, continuing the destruction and the damage. Again, not saying this is unprecedented, but the fact that this happens now all the time, that hurricanes hit their initial target and then just keep on going and bouncing along for thousands of miles when they should have already dissipated, is a sign that something is different on the planet. If you haven't actually acknowledged that for yourself yet. All right, standstill traffic on I-75 near Northport, Florida. What's going on? Florida is still experiencing some very large problems, even though the hurricane has passed. The Miyaka River has risen to dangerous levels. There is a full closure, so it's absolutely shut down. When is this from? This looks like it's from yesterday. Still some very large problems out there for the people of Florida. DeSantis says this is a 1 in 500 year event, acknowledging that this is, an outlier with, for normal hurricanes. But again, this is happening all the time. Florida, it's from Poppy Davis. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis described the destruction as a 500-year flood event. We've never seen storm surge of this magnitude, he said. So, yeah. Yeah, and then this happened in South Beach, Miami. Massive king tide wave plus wave. I guess there's a confluence of things. A massive wave sweeping people out into the ocean. But understand that king tides are happening more often in Miami now because of sea level rise. That's an actual thing that's happening. If it's well documented. It happens all the time now. They have, higher and higher tides. Why are they having higher and higher tides? Because the sea is rising higher. This has nothing to do with models or eggheads in a university lab talking about how climate change is going to be bad. No, it's actually happening. Is here. It's happening right now. But pretty wild footage here. Almost took that police car out. And then it comes up again and knocks a bunch of people into the water. These people that are standing there like, oh, cool. Bango. They're not so cool. These people got swept over these rocks. That had to hurt. I'm sure that probably didn't feel so good. This is interesting too. For all the your models are wrong. There's actually there in California, actually in a place that I love, was part of a lot of my childhood in San Clemente. Well, there's a a train that runs between LA and San Diego, and part of the route of this train is actually not running anymore. Why? Because the coast is eroding. And along the coast there in San Clemente, like the train tracks run right on the beach, right next to the beach. So service is suspended indefinitely in this one area, and they're going to use, I guess, buses to go around where the train service is not happening. Again, why is it not happening? I don't know. Sorry about that. Because the beach is being eroded by what? By high tides, surf. What would that be? That would be called rising sea levels. I don't know what else you would call that. Let's see. I'm going to jump off of YouTube in a few minutes. But I'm still here for a moment. I'm going to cover some other news, but I'm just trying to figure out what to cover. Before we leave YouTube and continue on Rockfin. his footage. Okay, so this, I don't know. Maybe people might think this is Oh, anyways, I'll retract my wandering, meandering thoughts for a second. So this is footage of someone who was on the phone, is a veteran, and was on the phone with the suicide hotline. I'm going to see if I can get some sound on this, because it's important to have the sound. Anyways, this is very sad, heartbreaking footage. Dang it. Hold on. Let's try. Maybe I'll have to go right to the. Well, let's this is from Comrade Misty. She says, "This breaks my heart. Shame on us for sending these men and women to fight these wars to make the rich jerks richer."
What's going on, boss? What's going on? Okay. All right. Hey, I got you, man, all right? What branch you in? Army? All right, hey, my name's Kyle. All right, we'll help you out, all right, bud? I'm here with you, all right? I'm going to start an ambulance over here to us, okay? All right, bud? Hey, no, hey. If I send you, it's nothing on you, okay? State of Connecticut covers that. All right? Can we step out of the car, boss? Just so we can talk? 826. Here, come to the front of your truck, bud. 820. Starting an ambulance to the 6-8 off-ramp eastbound. I'm with a vet who's on the suicide hotline. Hey. Sorry, man. Hey. You have anything on you? No. Okay, is that if I check you? Cool. Any deployments, bud? One. One? What do you do? It's a tough time for everyone in your position, all right? Relax, though. Hey, I'm here with you, okay? Here. Yeah.
Anyways, that's really heartbreaking footage of a veteran going through a hard time. And I don't know, what can I say? War is hell, and it's unfortunate people have to actually do this for a job, or they see this as an option. It really hurts people. I have quite a few friends who served, and nearly every single one of them was deeply disturbed by their experience. And I really I feel very strongly about not joining the services, but this is, not only that, but then they keep on cutting VA funds for veterans, and it just keeps getting worse. It's just not a good situation. I don't know. So let's try and have some compassion for people that are going through a hard time. On the same note, I was going to. I actually was the other day. I had somewhere. Did y'all? I mean, Jordan Peterson was trending, and everybody have been talking about Jordan Peterson. Do I have this clip where he started crying on Piers Morgan? People really dislike Jordan Peterson, and I kind of don't really understand. I mean, look, I don't agree with all the things that he says necessarily, but I don't think he's not a vicious, intentionally vicious he's not a nefarious actor on any level, it almost it disturbs me on the same level that this video did, that people talk about him in the way that they do, and they don't really even know who, they just hear that everybody is supposed to hate Jordan Peterson, and then they pile on. He actually has had a lot of hard times lately. He had a substance issue, and he really had a hard time dealing with all the animosity that people had for him. I don't know. I see people saying that things that they're saying about him, and it's like, do you even know? He is actually trying to help people. I've watched a few of his lectures, and I find him to be somebody who is earnest, and at least, he's not trying to hurt anybody. He's trying to help people. And so I don't understand why people find that, find him to be so, but it's, it doesn't mean that you have to like him. You can not like him. You can not agree with the things he says. I don't agree with everything he says. I just don't see him to be the evil villain that people make him out to be. It's just like really weird. But anyway, I can't find it. I just briefly wanted to talk about the fact that I find it a little bit weird that people on all sides, I don't like Biden at all. I don't really like Kamala Harris. I just, the lengths to which people go to just spew hatred towards people is a little bit concerning. I don't know, and I hope I'm not being I'm not personally being one-sided about that, because I know that everybody has their emotions about things. That people can get really riled up about things. I can get really riled up emotionally about things and tend to, spew myself a little bit here and there. I'm just asking people to be a little bit conscious of their actions in the world and their energy in the world, the things they put out there. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. Just, I'm just feeling like we should show a little more, it's easy these days, especially on social media, to be very strident and argumentative and, castigate people and sling all kinds of stuff at people. And it's like, oh, feeling like maybe we should show a little more compassion these days if we can. Anyways, so now is the time. And some things are deserving of real ire, for sure. For sure. For sure. Some things are deserving of real hardcore ire. I get it. All right. Now's the time. If any of you all sent a coffee, or you can tip me on Rockfin. Haven't gotten any tips on Rockfin or anywhere else, so there's nothing to read. So I will be signing off of YouTube. You can watch the rest of the show on Rockfin, because I'm going to cover some more things about Ukraine and other things. So thank you, YouTubers. I appreciate you. I'll see you all here tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific. Peace. No, I didn't really want to do that. That was weird. I was actually